Plans break, not on the chart, in you. 1 second you're following your rules, the next second you're clicking something you didn't plan, managing a position you shouldn't even be in, and trying to fix the feeling with speed. If that keeps happening, it's not because you're weak. It's because your brain runs a predictable stress pattern when control slips. Today I'll show you what pro traders do in that exact moment, and the 5-part reset that stops the damage fast. By the end, you'll have a reset you can use the same day, even if you're a beginner, even if you still get shaky after a loss, and even if you've promised yourself 100 times that next time you'll be disciplined. This is for you if you've ever had a clean plan, a clean setup, and then one unexpected move turned you into a different trader. Or if you've ever been green, then took one sloppy trade, then watched the day unravel because you couldn't stop clicking. We're going to cover 3 things. What's actually happening in your brain when plans break. The 5-part reset pros used to stop the spiral, simple and measurable. And a quick AI journaling setup that helps you spot your personal triggers faster without letting AI trade for you. Here's the moment it usually starts. You're in a trade that matched your plan. Price moves against you faster than you expected. Your heart rate jumps. Your eyes lock on P&L. You tell yourself, it's fine, I'll manage it. But your body is already in emergency mode. You start doing little things that feel responsible. You widen a stop because you don't want to get tagged. You exit early because you want relief. You re-enter because you feel regret. You size up because you want to make back what just happened. You take a second setup that's not really there because waiting feels unbearable. And now the plan is broken. Not on paper, in real time. In a second, I'll show you the exact decision point where this stops being automatic, because there is a fork in the road that happens fast, and if you miss it, the rest of the session becomes damage control. Let's name the mechanism so you can catch it while it's happening. I call it the breakdown loop, and it's simple enough to remember even when you're stressed. It starts with a trigger, a loss, a missed move, chop, a sudden spike, a bad fill, or even a win that turns into a pullback that scares you. Then comes the story you attach. I'm behind. I'm stupid. I can't trade today. I need to fix this right now. Then comes the impulse. Urgency, tunnel vision, the need to click and do something. Then comes the action. You break the rule that normally protects you. The breakdown loop is not about strategy. It's about state. Be honest. What's the most common trigger for you when plans break? A loss, a missed move, or chop and boredom? Comment one word. Naming it is the first step to making it predictable. And predictable is fixable. Now, a quick myth bust. Most traders try to fix broken plans with motivation. I need discipline. I need to be tougher. But discipline fails when your nervous system is overloaded. When your body thinks you're in danger, you don't rise to your best intentions. You drop to your strongest habit. You don't need hype. You need a protocol. That's why pros don't rely on willpower when it matters most. They rely on a reset that is boring, repeatable, and measurable. And here's why this matters so much. Across many brokers' risk disclosures under ESMA-style rules, a large majority of retail CFD accounts lose money. The market is hard, yes, but what destroys people is not one trade. It's the moment their plan breaks and they keep trading as if nothing changed. So here is the 5-part reset pro traders use when plans break. You can run it in minutes. It's designed to protect you from your worst version, not your best version. First, you interrupt the body. The rule is hands off for 10 seconds. Literally remove your hand from the mouse or phone. Stand up. One slow exhale, longer out than in. Then sit down. You are not trying to feel calm. You are trying to stop the automatic reaction from driving the next click. Short pause. Big control. Micro summary so far. Interrupt the body before you argue with the mind. Second, you freeze risk immediately. When the plan breaks, your first job is not to win it back. Your first job is to stop bleeding. You do one of 2 things, and you decide which one before you ever trade again. You either flatten and go to observation mode, or you reduce your next exposure to a fraction of normal. Not a little smaller. Clearly smaller. The goal is to make it physically harder to do damage while you're in a compromised state. This is where retail traders get hurt. They treat a broken plan like a small mistake they can fix with speed. Pros treat it like a state change that requires protection. Micro summary. Interrupt, then freeze risk. Third, you speak the truth sentence that returns you to process. You say the same sentence every time, so it becomes automatic under stress. My job is to execute my edge over the next 20 trades, not fix this feeling right now. That sentence matters, because when plans break, your brain tries to solve discomfort with action. The sentence pulls you out of the moment and back into a longer horizon where one trade stops feeling like life or death. Your brain will argue. Let it argue. Fourth, you requalify the next trade like you're proving it to a strict coach. Most traders don't lose because they never had a good setup. They lose because after a plan break, they lower standards and start calling impulses setups. You ask 3 questions, slowly enough that you can't lie to yourself. Is my setup actually here? Or am I chasing because I feel pressure? Where is invalidation? The exact level or condition that proves I'm wrong. Is my size appropriate for current volatility, or am I using size to change my mood? If any answer is unclear, you don't trade. Not forever. Just not now. Micro summary. Interrupt. Freeze risk. Truth sentence requalify. Fifth, you close the loop with a 30-second debrief before you continue. This is the part that turns one reset into a habit, because it teaches your brain that plan breaks have consequences and structure, not shame and chaos. You write 3 quick lines. What broke the plan? What emotion showed up first? What rule you used to protect yourself? Then you decide the next mode. Continue smaller with strict criteria or stop and review. This is what pros do differently. They don't just survive the moment. They convert the moment into feedback. Micro summary. Interrupt, freeze risk, truth sentence, requalify, debrief. Now let's make this feel real with a walkthrough replay. You take a clean setup, the trade is valid, and you're managing it normally. Then a fast move hits, you get slipped, and you're down more than expected. Your body reacts. Your mind goes straight to repair mode. You want to click again to make it back, or you want to hold and hope because admitting the loss hurts. Old you keeps trading in the same state. You force the next setup. You widen stops. You take lower quality entries. You start monitoring every tick. You stop thinking in probabilities and start thinking in emotions. New you runs the reset. Hands off for 10 seconds, stand, exhale, sit. Freeze risk. Either flatten and observe or reduce exposure sharply. Truth sentence. Next 20 trades, not right now. Requalify. Setup real, invalidation clear, size appropriate. Debrief in 3 lines, then choose mode. And here's the key. The goal isn't to feel calm. The goal is to behave like a professional while you feel the stress. That's what separates pros from everyone else. Not emotionless. Structured. Now a quick brain note that explains why this works without getting too technical. When you're stressed, your attention narrows and your brain seeks relief. In that state, you overvalue immediate outcomes and undervalue long-term process. That's why you can know your plan and still break it. The reset is designed to restore a little space between impulse and action. Losses also hit harder than gains feel good, a classic point from Kahneman and Tversky's prospect theory. So after a plan break, even a small additional loss can feel unbearable, which fuels impulsive decisions. The reset doesn't argue with that feeling. It blocks the behavior that feeling tries to trigger. Now the 10% AI coach segment. This is not AI predicting price. This is AI as a mirror, so you see your patterns faster, because your memory will protect your ego and rewrite the day. Keep a tiny log. Setup type. Rule followed yes or no. Emotion intensity on a simple scale. Sleep or stress level. Time of day. Result in R. After a set of trades, paste the notes into an AI tool and ask for pattern detection in plain language. Identify my top triggers that correlate with rule breaks. Create short if-then rules I can execute in under 10 seconds. Give me a short post-session debrief that focuses on behavior, not outcome. Then you convert the output into constraints. If emotion is above a certain level, I reduce risk or stop. If I break one rule, I end the session. If I take a loss larger than planned, I must run the 5-part reset before any next trade. If chop is making me click, I switch to observation mode. AI doesn't trade for you. It helps you see you. And one more reality check that supports this. Research by Barber and Odin on individual investors found that more frequent trading tends to be associated with lower performance, often explained by costs and timing. When your plan breaks, your frequency usually spikes. So anything that reduces impulse trades is not just psychology, it's math. Now let's hit the common mistakes fast, because this is where people say they tried resets and it didn't work. Mistake 1 is making the reset vague. I'll calm down. I'll be disciplined. Fix it with measurable rules. Hands off for 10 seconds. Freeze risk. Requalify with the same questions. Debrief in 3 lines. Mistake 2 is skipping the risk freeze. People do a breath and then immediately click again at the same size. That's not a reset. That's a pause before repeating the mistake. The risk freeze is what makes the reset real. Mistake 3 is treating a plan break like a personal failure. Shame fuels urgency. Fix it by treating it like a system event. Something happened. The system responded. Then you return to process. Mistake 4 is letting one lucky recovery trade teach you the wrong lesson. Sometimes you break rules and it works, and that rewards the habit. Judge yourself by rule following, not by the next outcome. If this is resonating, comment the moment your plan breaks most often. After a loss, after a missed entry, during chop, or after you're green and get too confident. Now here's your implementation challenge for the next few sessions. Pick one trigger that breaks your plans most often. Use the 5-part reset exactly once per session, even if you think you don't need it. Track only 2 things. Did I follow the reset? Yes or no? And what was my emotion intensity? That's it. 2 signals. Then comment this. My trigger is this, and my rule is this. When you write it, you commit, and other traders see that they're not alone. Now let's recap in a way you can remember mid-session. When plans break, you're not broken. You're running the breakdown loop. Trigger, story, impulse, action. Pros interrupt the loop with a reset that protects the account and restores process. Interrupt the body. Freeze risk. Speak the truth sentence. Requalify the next trade. Debrief in 30 seconds and choose mode. The identity shift is simple. You stop being a trader who tries to power through broken plans. You become a risk manager who respects state changes and protects tomorrow. Your best plan is useless if you can't return to it. This reset is how you return. Subscribe to Mind for Trade. If you want trading psychology systems, you can apply the same day. Plus the AI coach segment to catch your patterns faster without outsourcing your thinking. Hit like if you want the next video to go deeper on the most common follow-up problem after a plan break, the urge to revenge trade and win it back immediately. Next, watch the video on the one more trade trap. Because when plans break, one more trade is usually the next link in the chain. And fixing that link is how your green days stop turning into lessons.